Alright guys, we're going to do Unit 4, this is Section 6, and this is your slope-intercept form. Okay, you've seen that you can graph a line if you know 2 points on the line. Another way is to use the slope of the line and the point that contains the y-intercept. So let's look at this. Alright, we're going to graph the line given with the slope and the y-intercept. So, we have a slope of -2/5 and we have a y-intercept of 4 here. When you graph a line, you always want to start with your y-intercept as your first point. Okay? So if our y-intercept is +4, on the y-axis here, and here's your y, we need to make our first point on the y-axis at +4. Okay? And then from that point, we can graph our slope. So from this point, our slope is -2/5. So what I can do is I can go down for my -2 and then right for my +5. If I want, I can do it again to get a third point. From this point, down 2 for my -2, right for my +5. And then I've just graphed that line. Okay? Now let's see y'all do the next one on your own here. Okay, so on this one, you want to start the y-intercept. So I start on the y-axis at -3. My slope is 2. So I rise 2, go right 1. Rise 2, right 1. Now, would it be okay if I did this? If I started from this point and I went down 2, left 1, that is a point on that line. So how come I can do that? Well, class, 2 negatives equal a positive. So that point will be on the line. Okay, if you know the slope of a line and the y-intercept, you can write an equation that describes the line. Okay, step 1. If a line has a slope of 2, slope is our m, and a y-intercept of 3, well, we need a point. So when our y is 3, remember our ordered pair? Our x is 0. If it's on the y-axis, our x is always 0. So if we have a slope of 2 and a point 0.03, we want to substitute the values in to find out what this formula represents. Okay? So we know that your slope is the difference of your y values over the difference of your x values. Correct? Okay? So let's label this x1, y, and r, m. And substitute into this formula right here, and we're going to solve for y. Okay? So our m is 2, and our first point here is our y-intercept. So m is 2, my y is 3, and my x is 0. Okay? I can simplify my denominator and get 2 equals, well, for goodness gracious. Okay? So we need to cancel out this denominator. By canceling out the denominator, I can multiply the left side, the right side of this equation by x. X over x cancels out to 1, so I must do the same to my left side. So what I have here is I have 2x on the left side equals y minus 3. Again, I'm trying to isolate this variable y, so now I want to add 3 to both sides. So I have 2x plus 3 equals y, or if I wanted to use my reflexive property, I could write y equals 2x plus 3. Okay, so what do we know about this formula here? This is called our slope-intercept formula. what do you see here? Our slope was given up here as 2, so that's where the n comes from. Our 3 was given up here as our y-intercept, so B is our y-intercept. So let's look at the formula here. This is your slope-intercept formula. M represents your slope, B represents your y-intercept. And how we get that, I just showed you how to get it, okay? So, write the equation that describes the line in slope-intercept form. Start with your equation. Okay, let's identify. Our slope is 1/4, and B is our y-intercept. Our y-intercept is 4. So class, all we need to do is substitute in. Y equals M, which is 1/4, and B, which is positive 4. There's my answer. Okay, again, we're going to do the same thing. So start with your y-intercept formula. Let's identify our slope. Our slope is given as -9. And our B, which is our y-intercept, that is given as -5/4. So now we can substitute into our formula. Y equals M, which is our slope, plus B, plus our y-intercept. Well, class, our y-intercept is a -5/4, so I'm going to put -5/4. You don't want to have a plus -5/4. You don't want to have two signs right beside each other, okay? So right here's my equation in slope-intercept form. Okay, now we're given a graph, and we need to write the equation in slope-intercept form. Well, for slope-intercept form, we need a point and we need the y-intercept. Okay, so let's see. Y-intercept, which is our B, crosses right here at +3. And do we have our slope? Well, we're given 2 points, so we can find our slope. Remember, our slope is the difference of our y values over the difference of our x values. Okay? So let's use this as my first point. This is my second point. So I'll have 1 minus 2 over -4 minus a -2. -4 minus a -2 would be +2. So then our slope is going to be -1 over -2, which is 1/2. So now I can substitute in. Y equals my slope is 1/2, and my y-intercept is 3. Okay, now what's different with this one, excuse me, is we're given the slope and we're given a point that is on the line. We are not given the y-intercept. All right, so I'm going to work this problem, then I'll stop it, and we'll have to do a video part 2. Okay, so what do we have here? Well, we have our slope, and we have a point. Okay, and what we need, what are we missing here? We are missing B, which is our y-intercept. Okay, so let's start with our equation, our slope-intercept equation. And guys, I'm given my slope, which is 2. I'm also given a point, x and y. X and y. So let's substitute in. For y, let's substitute in the value of 4 from that point. For x, let's substitute in the value of 3. And then what are we going to find here? What's it going to give us? it's going to give us b, which is our y-intercept, which is what we are missing. Okay, so let's simplify. 2 times 3 is 6. Isolate your variable, b. So b equals -2. Now we can write this equation with this slope and this point in our slope-intercept form. Because we're given slope, our x, and then our y-intercept is -2. Okay? So if you're given the slope and a point that is not on the y-intercept, what you'll need to do is you'll need to substitute in the point and the slope in your slope-intercept form to find the b value, which is your y-intercept. And then you can substitute it back into your slope-intercept form with the slope that is given and the y-intercept that you just found. Okay, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 more problems. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stop this one and we'll have a part 2.